All right. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Mm, Set here. All right. So data came in, not as high as what was expected. Markets are kind of like, oh my god, what do we do with this, right? Um, Obviously an increase on the yearly CPI, you know, but it's funny. Everyone's talking about how it's less than expected. It's like, yeah, but it's still a gain, right? It's still game core held at increasing again at 0.2% on a monthly basis. CPI also went from zero point 0.2 to zero point 0.2. And now you're starting to see why the monthly is really kind of more important than what the yearly is. But the reality is it did increase over last month on a yearly figure, 0.2%, right? Not necessarily where the Fed wants it. You don't want to be raising after, what is it, 15 months or something like that. Um, so yeah, a lot there. Anyway, yeah. So with that said, unemployment claims came in slightly higher. Not necessarily. I don't know. It's not one of those things where you're like, oh my god, right? Um, yeah, 248 is higher than 231. By a little bit. Again, it's a decent percentage. But all talk is going to be basically on the CPI. The unemployment claims aren't going to matter today. Now, Harker is speaking later on today, 4:15. It's after the market closes, so um, not necessarily not necessarily anything that we're like, ooh, right, that we got to worry about. So that's kind of where we're sitting with things. As far as what we have tomorrow, remember, I will not be here tomorrow. I'll be actually in the car already. We do have PPI, and PPI is also expected to kind of advance. I think the market's a little confused today because it's kind of like, oh, it's not as bad as expected, guys, but it's still raised. So I think that's kind of where we need to be careful. We have pound showing positive movement on a monthly basis with their GDP, which should help the pound a bit, particularly because we're seeing the euro pound up 21 right now. So that's a decent thing. But PPI and then obviously consumer sentiment expect to be a slight adjustment. Consumer, inflation expectations. They are what they are. But again, PPI is kind of like, I don't know, it's the sprinkles on top of the whipped cream, right? Or the cherry is kind of what that is. Um, not as much room. Maybe it goes point 0.1, but I believe that it's going to go to the point 0.2. It'll come in as expected. And again, showing a raise over last month, right? Both on the core as well as the overall level. So should be kind of a negative kind of negative sentiment. But today, again, everybody's going to celebrate that. Oh, it was less than expected. But the reality is it still did increase, right? US US interest rates should stay around 5% for longer, even if inflation falls. Yeah. Well, I mean, they said, thank you, CNBC, for basically quoting back what the Fed said that they were going to do, right? The Fed basically said, we are going to make it restrictive and then we're going to hold it there for quite some time. Is, again, quite some time is actually what they had said. So, um, with that, let's just dive in. Nothing really is going crazy right now. I think the market's really confused, right? Less than expected, yay! But you're celebrating that it went higher. So the market's having some problems with that. Biggest mover on the board is pound yen, right? Some of that is, you know, I'd say most of that is actually the yen in play, right? Because you're seeing, pound dollar only up 20, and then again, the euro is actually kind of advancing on the pound as well. So it's not really pound strength; it's more just euro, right? European weakness than anything else. As far as VIX goes, you can see there was the run up, but for the most part, I mean, the VIX got pushed right back down again. All the indices are pretty deep in the green right now. The dollar, you look at the dollar and you're like, oh, it's down. Well, it really started to go down from in the overnight session, right? Came down, the news kind of spiked it, and then the dollar rallied kind of back up again. So yeah, the 8 o'clock window, 8:30 is right here. We're actually above where we were at 8:30 in the morning. A big whip down and a close. I'm sorry, a close here, and then a push back up again to this level of basing, and then a push back down again. So, you know, overall, yeah, the dollar's slightly weaker, and you may say, oh, it's 'cause it missed. It did, but it still went up point 0.2. Instead of going up point 0.3, it went up point 0.2. It's increasing, right? It's increasing. So it's still kind of one of those, yeah, still something that you need to watch out for. Okay. Um, I don't think the dollar is going to be earth shatteringly different today. I think they still hold. Again, it's still rising, which is the exact opposite of what they want to happen. Um, Apple, Tesla, both in the green right now. Crude oil down 0.7%, right? Down 60 cents. We're still sitting it up at 83.78. It's like, oh God, we wanted 80 be the base. Now like 83, 84 is the base. Come on. Natural gas down 2.8%. So again, that's good. We were up flirting with 3 yesterday. Um, being back down at 287 is good. Gold up slightly, up about 0.5%. Silver up about 1. But if you look to see where they're at 1923, right? We were talking about 37 yesterday, and then 22.86. So we're up 1% in silver, but not even breaching through that 23 mark, right? So you may look at that and be like, "Ah, what's going on?" These are short. You were talking about getting short. Yeah, I was. And again, with it popping up, I talked about getting short from the news, and you can see there was an immediate response back to the downside. It's about getting kind of the right run with it. Silver a little bit trickier. People are like, "Oh God, what do we do with this?" There was all the whipsaw actually came in. Oh yeah, sorry, I missed the line. That's why. Like what? It's all just straight up and down, and we'll talk about that when we get over there. But starting over the Aussie dollar, you can see quite a spike. Now we had a level 61.8. Again, we hit that one. We pushed out of it yesterday. We started basing right before news, so you're like, yeah, I'm not going short. Not really a short base trade once we started the base at 7 o'clock this morning. You can see I'll remove this just so we can kind of get the surprise feature out of there. You can see it pushed all the way up. This is a monstrous candle, right? For this one. This is 56 pips and monstrous. It's almost a day's worth of movement, right? I'm in one 30-minute candle. And what did it do? It opened here. It went all the way up. Or I guess it went all the way down, all the way up, and then closed right back down here, right? So a lot of indecision. Again, this is why the 78.6 really doesn't do much for me. So let's take this guy off. Don't confuse anybody. And we actually did push a little bit high. It's funny. We actually did go higher than this level here, and we ended up grabbing the area over here. So um, right now, I mean, I think we're gonna have to start talking about clearing wicks and kind of where things are. Probably up there. Actually, let's see. Mm, Time we have any confirmations? Is it? Pull this off. Let's see. Yeah, there's something sitting around the 50. Wonder if this is going to be the base, right? If we can kind of tear down again. I think you guys are looking for something midday. I think that's a decent level, right? It's a 50% retracement. There is basing there. It's having some problems right now. All that data should be kind of factored out in the next, I don't know, should be factored out in the next, I don't know, half hour ish, right? Um, eh, yeah, it's not a bad spot. It's not a bad spot. Without anything else today, if we kind of tear back down again, maybe we base around. As long as we don't breach to the top, I think that's probably a decent level to take this one long at. Again, no man's land sitting in the middle, but it is a decent base. It is bisected right by the 50. So with the spike up and down, if it deteriorates down again, this would be enough that it's like, oh, it's a red number. It's a red number. It's like, yeah, but it went up 0.2. Eventually, that realization will kick in, and we should see this one move. So yeah, yeah, I think we look for this one to go. Also, again, right now we're having yen weakness across the board. We talked about a profit target up top, and you can see this one recharge itself right around 530, and then just continue to drive. You can see through the 830 window there wasn't really much of a hiccup. So we are hitting an area right now in this one. So again, profit target. It's funny. We talked about getting a Harry Potter, and we talked about a base. There's a base here, right? And then there was another base here. So we were talking about some type of a Harry Potter looking for the base. There's your base. There's your pullback, right? Up, sideways, down, up, right? And that's exactly what we got right there. So, see how it worked out. 11 pips, and there you go. 1 to 3 sitting right there. So yeah, which is funny. It's almost not too bad. Missed it by just a little bit to the base. 94.62, 66. So missed it by a little tiny bit. But yeah, so there was the base from yesterday. And again, midnight is actually Well, I guess yeah, midnight is when I went through. Unfortunately, this is one of those late night ones. You could have taken this one at 3, right? 3:30. We started the base there, so yeah, little 11 for 35. Not the worst. So right now, let's see. Let's pull these off now. Let's see right there. Yeah, 11 o'clock last night. Um, yeah. So we're in a level now. This is the third time, right? I guess the initial that was the entire candle, but kind of there's your green. Um, it's hit. It's hit. This is hit number 3, so not a super strong one. There is a base right below it, so it's not really the greatest reversal level. If anything, I think if we can get a decent another base in here, I think we look for this to punch a little bit higher. On its way up again. I don't know that we're gonna get too much help from the end, but um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think there's a reversal due, right? Um, 11 pips. So close. It's so tempting, right? It's 950. It's like, oh, we're close to when this one should turn and roll. It's like, oh, right. It's there. It is there. Ugh. Hmm. Man, it's tempting. It's real tempting to throw a reversal on that one. It's not quite out of its range, though, right? It's not quite out of its range, and it is a third hit, so there are a couple things going against it. Um, it's there. Man, I really want to do. I am torn. Hmm. This one may roll back on us. The only thing that would keep me from, like the biggest thing, I mean, there's a number of things, but this little base right here, it's not giving us a great run back down again. It's only about 24 pips, but that'd be at the bottom side of it. We're only really looking for about 30, 35 out of this one to the downside for reversal. If it was 30 minutes later, I think it would be a better one. Again, there are obviously sellers sitting in here. Again, a decent level. There's no kind of combined, you know, no kind of combined fib stuff. Um, I don't know. It's there. If you want something, there's something there. I'd like it to be a little bit later, but a couple things. But would not honestly be surprised if we turn and roll from it. So, yeah, if we can get a base in here, this is the other thing. If we can get a base sitting in here and we start building up some sellers, I'm sorry, some buyers right in here. I also think this could be a decent long, right? Um, you can see we punched down, nothing, nothing, and then finally pushed. If we can get through this little hiccup here, this hiccup is just above the 78.6. We may use the 78, pull down, and go. So this one, if it bases in here, could go up and grab that 78, then push down, and then go higher, right? And it makes sense with why that's sitting there. So it's there. There's a couple things with this one, but this is one of those ones I just kind of feel like you kind of want to watch it, right? You kind of want to watch it. Yeah, it's kind of want to watch it. Um, let's move on. Euro dollar. So euro dollar. We talked about this one being in a, again, an area pretty high. You can see there was so much whipsaw in it, right? It pulled back right before the news came out, right? Then we accelerated in, and now we're kind of stuck at the same exact spot. So here's the 830 candle. We're exactly where it is, right? Whip up and down. I guess it was up, down, down, up. And you can see it grabbed a level right here. There's a zone sitting right there, right? So, why is that one marked this way? We must have done that one on a 4 hour. Sure why that was there. Anyway, there was your news trade. I knew there was a pullback into that level. Let's see. Was there a fib accompaniment in there? There might have been actually. Yeah, there would have been. Did go all the way first. Yeah, it's funny when it was pushing it over there. You could see it was a 23. It was a decent spot. Anyway, yeah. So you can see it came in actually at 840. Came in, hit, and punched through. I don't need to. Hopefully, I don't need to put this on. You guys can see this one is 8. There's 3. So I was able to squeeze it in for news. Where we are right now with it, we can actually, we talked about being in a racetrack above this one. I think it's important still to kind of keep this on there, right? We've broken through. So if we get any type of new basing in here, I feel like there is probably something in here we can take over. It's not designed. It's not set up right now. Again, we have the whip back and forth. Yeah. I mean, again, we just got to have a news trade, so it's kind of hard to. Sorry, I'm trying to pop this other thing. No, hold on. I could get what? No, stop, stop. I hit one thing and then I lost the window again. I did it again. Hold on. I've lost everything. No. Hold on. All right, I can see that I'm online still. Um, hold on. God, this is horrible. Why does it do this? Ah. Um, okay. All right, there we go. Whew. All right. I thought I killed it all. Um, God, I hit the one thing and I accidentally, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. You see this little update thing up here? On one of the other things, I try to excuse it and they all blink down. I was like, oh God, what are they doing? Yeah. Gotta hate that update button. Whew. I lost everything. I was like, okay, I got no chat. I got no nothing. I can't see anything. Anyway, if we can get a level of basing in here on this euro dollar one, I think it has the ability to go higher. I don't think it's inherently necessarily a weak dollar. It's a combination of a few things. Um, Again, we got to get the correct base in there. It did punch through the top. We were calling for the Harry Potter. There was a news base trade in there. You can see a rally, a base, a rally. Kind of flirted around with it, and then when it punched higher, all it did was pull back and use that same level. So the trade is technically out. Um, uh, okay. So it's technically, again, where we are. Look for long. Look for a break above. We know we're sitting in a racetrack. We don't have any selling coming in until at least 101. I'm sorry, 111.26. Right, 111.26 is where that one is. So we got room to play in this one. All right, euro pound. So we're sitting very high on euro pound. So this is the one thing that's kind of, I don't want to say bothering me, but we are very, very high on the curve in the euro pound. Okay. We know we have selling going on. We got a peak over here. We got some testing in here. You can see we've been running up and running up and running up. So the one thing that's kind of not bugging me, but the one thing in the euro dollar, it's like, oh, I know we're sitting in a racetrack right now, and it's not, some of this is probably the pound preparing for tomorrow morning. And that's why we're seeing the pound weakness roll in. But some of it is also the euro itself. So uh, it's Right now, I'm very hesitant to go, long the euro dollar. It's there, but I need some basic and I need to form something and I need to kind of debunk what's going on here. Right now, to me, this one looks like it's a turn and roll back to the downside. The 4 hour ATR, by the way, is now down to 13 pips. 14, 13.9. 14 pips in 4 hours. So is this something big and tradable? No, not really. But would expect it to turn, roll back to the downside rather soon. All right. Um, yeah, I think it turns and rolls. I think it, yeah. God, I wish we didn't have this peak either. Yeah, I'd like to see some type of a confirmed flip on this one. We got this messing this one up. But again, what I would use this for is use it for a proxy. Basically, just an idea of where this is moving. It's turning. I would say look for the weakness here first. Okay. This is going to affect obviously the euro dollar, but also the euro yen. Euro yen not slowing down. We talked about punching through this the 158 if we went through. Um, Unfortunately, this one we did get an entry on there. I'd love to say that we did. We hit it. We were basing. It's like, yeah, give us the pullback. It came up and it based again, and it kind of did it here. Um, this one was a little bit of a struggle, right? It did come down for news and hit it. You may have gotten in, but that was the trade we were looking for, was a breakthrough of 158 with any type of base. It just, we had the base here, and there's a little base in there. So again, the Harry Potter is, through, base, up, pull back, and go, and that's what it did, right? Just in smaller. We missed it by a little bit. So right now, I don't want to put breaks on this one. I think we wait for this one to put a top in. I think because of where we are with the euro dollar and euro pound, I think euro pound has shown us it's probably getting to a point of weakness. And then again, same thing with the euro dollar. We know there's selling going on here, but we also know that we're sitting in a racetrack. So as far as this one goes, we're basically going to need the yen to kind of turn and knock this one down. Um, yeah, it's wait for a top. I don't think 160 is uncalled for in this one. Okay, let me put a horizontal line on 160 just to show you guys kind of where we're at. Oh, that was pretty close. 160 right there. There's 160. So for me, I'm looking for this one to come up and base somewhere around 160, and that's where my reversal point would be. Um, Again, euro dollar's got a racetrack, got a little bit more of a racetrack here. This one has another 91 pips. It's got a 151 ATR, so absolutely well within range of being able to get up there and hit it. But right now, it's been so long, and we've been waiting for this break for so long. Um, since the beginning of July, we've been waiting for that break, and finally, enough hits through. We got it, and then obviously it didn't. It couldn't base right in the line. It had to base right on the other side of it. So yeah. Um, all right. So, where we go with this now? Again, I think we wait, we base. It's only got 80 more pips. Absolutely can do it in the next 8 hours, 10 hours. Same thing. Look for that reversal. Look for the euro pound first. And again, we need some help from the euro dollar to get this one in reverse too. But really, right now, I'm not interested in much until we come up, touch it, and look for it to push back down. Probably into, we'll see where the base is. All right. Pound dollar. Look at all this craziness. Again, look at the whips on this one. We've touched the zone multiple times, so we knew it wasn't going to hold again, and it did. Look, it pulled back right in time for news, came up, and then boom, whips all back and forth. And it's actually, I guess it actually is a little tiny bit lower than where we were, but we know right now that the pound's not really strong, and it's more or less chopping sideways. So, the thinking on this one is it kind of went up and it grabbed the zone here right above the 50 on the other side. Again, it was the next zone. This one had hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You knew it was going to break. The next level above of basing was right here with a push down, and that's what we kind of ran into. Depending on how you drew it, if you're drawing it off the bottom of this red candle here where the acceleration started, you can see we touched it. But honestly, I don't think the pound dollar one was super clean. Too much basing going sideways in this one still, and we're still just kind of tracking sideways. We've just put kind of a new top in. The big question I have on this one is this going to be the base that we kind of live in, right? Now, there is, you can run this, channel to channel is 140 pips. So there is a lot in this one, but right now you're seeing a lot of faltering back. I think what happens is once, once you see this one kind of start turning and rolling, the dollar strength coming back in again, it's probably a short. But is there a great level of risk? Nah, we can take these off now, right? We don't need these anymore. It broke through. The next level up top is here. The reality is there's not. I'm just going to sloppily put that one on there. But right now, this is kind of our top and bottom. Right, there's kind of our top and bottom. And again, we're skirting right down the middle. We got 50 pips high, 60 pips low. So not really a trade setup right now with all the spacing. Trade's already occurred. Pound yen. Again, yen play. So we talked about a break of 184 and looking at this one kind of turning and popping up higher. As you can see, it kind of played with it, right? And then pulled back and then came up and then started the base. So this one's close, right? Honestly, I think we keep this one on, right? We're still, again, this is the pattern that we're looking for to break through, right? We don't have it yet. Here's news. With this being held up here, right? If we can hold above this line or somewhere around this line, I think this has the ability to kind of come in. Again, the market has already factored all this in, right? For tomorrow morning, they factored in 0.2. What if it's only 0.1? Or what if it's 0? Right? It's better than expected, but not nearly as good as what the market had forecast. That's a big sell. So being very, very high on the curve up here at 184, I think it's setting up for tomorrow morning. Right now, it's not set up. I was hoping it kind of surged a little bit more. Right now, it has not given us that true Harry Potter trade yet. It has to go up and kind of clear it and base. It just can't go up and then back in the next candle. But we know that we do have a racetrack above this level. So we're kind of sitting there, and you can see there was the little hiccup right down again for news to power through. So there are some buyers sitting there backstopping this one. We can run fibs from here up and see if it gets any help. Yeah, a little bit. You can see where it kind of pulled back to. So, yeah, for right now, I need a base, right? If we can go just a bit up here and then down, then look for high, right? But right now, it's just kind of, again, this candle's struggling a little bit, right? Maybe it goes green. Maybe it stays green. I mean, it's got 26 minutes. If you can go just a little bit higher and then pull back, I think we're good. So yeah. Um, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah, I think that's it. We need this one to go a little bit more. We'll look for a pullback, look for a push. Right now, I'm almost in the more of a mindset of trying to find a short in the overnight. I think check this one tonight. Again, we may have an overnight short on this one. I have a feeling this one will come in as like a point 0.1 on a GDP basis, which would lead us to big short. So I'd like to get short sometime for this one tomorrow, right? With it rallying higher, we're looking for this on this side. I don't even know. Here, maybe? There? Something along those lines. Okay. Dollar CAD. Look at Dollar CAD doing its Harry Potter. So we talked about this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We started the base in there again. We pulled back, and this didn't really give us the base, right? But it did reaffirm that there was a new base sitting right there. Okay. Now, again, Harry Potters are not really designed for news. So again, a couple ways you could play this one. Again, depending on how you drew this one off the top, it's basically the same. Unfortunately, again, we're getting This is giving us the again, it gave us the base just above the line. We knew 134 was going to be an issue. Pull down, news kind of shot it back up, and it is pushing back down again. So it's kind of doing one of these, right? Not the ideal scenario, but we were looking for a break of that level, and we are pushing lower with dollar CAD. CAD, for the most part, this is more dollar weakness. The CAD is not really getting much from oil, even though it's up at 83, 89. You know, do I like this one of all the news trades? No, this would not be my kind of favorite one. Um, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Um, I don't know. There's not even a buy in this one. I was trying to see if there's any place to buy, but there's not really. Problem is this 134 is going to act as a thing. God, look at this. Where's their great movement right here? There's not. I have buyers here, right? There's buyers sitting right there. But am I willing to pull the trigger on these buyers in here? Maybe another continued short. The problem was, so here's the here. Look at this. So it looks like it's a great trade right now, right? But unfortunately, the fib on this one, once it punched down there, that's when the 23 finally came in order here. So right, it was fighting, it's fighting, like it wasn't anything, didn't hit, and all of a sudden, boom, that's when it went down. And that's when it came up and was a 23 level. Um, it's sloppy. It's sloppy. I don't want you guys to think that this is like the best trade. It's like, oh, look at this. We sniped it. It's not the best trade. It's very dangerous. Yeah, I think yeah, I think right now, again, I think there's a potential for a bounce over here. It actually wouldn't surprise me, right? Again, buyers were stabilized. It's not a great zone. I'm not interested in taking it long, but no surprise at all if we find buyers in this area. Again, this is late at night on Monday. August 7th. So not the prime trading area, but wouldn't be surprised if we come back up. And then again, 134 should act as a magnet. Um, I actually like to go probably a little bit higher for any shorts. I'd probably push it to this level for a short, and then maybe look for potential short off of that level right there. I don't love this one though. I'm not in love with this one. It's okay, but again, being with 134, it mixes up a lot of stuff. Look at the drama here. Again, we had pushed all the way down. This one again acted as a clearing wick. Look how crazy this was. So we talked about yesterday from the short here. We were talking about a target of 87, 10, and it did. It opened here. It blasted the target. So the target is officially out. Okay, target hit on that short. Um, and then we pulled back up and we're actually sitting slightly above where we were when the news came out. So, um, yeah, trying to think of where's the next one at. Right now, I think this is what we're dealing with. Again, one, two, three, four. Ugh. Safe is going to be here, right? There's your safe top and bottom. Um, it actually broke through that piece too. I think that's kind of how we look at it. September 1st is good. Okay. So dollar CAD set up, I think, or dollar Swiss. I think for some reason, if we can get up, I think we will find sellers up here at 87.83. It's been there a few times. It's pushed it to the brink. It kind of reestablished itself, but again, maybe with news or something like that. I don't love that one. I think the next clean short is up at 87.89. Again, it's confirmed one time. That's much better than this level coming through. To the downside, do we have an area where we could bounce off of 86.70? Sure, but it's pushed it two times already. This is hit number three. It's gaining some momentum to the downside. It's a lot. If we can punch through there and start basing, though, I do think that there is the potential for a Harry Potter. We do have an alert set in there as it comes through. We need a base. So, again, this is not a locked in sell it when it hits 86.60. If we start to come down and we start to form that base here, obviously at that point, we're looking for this one more to do the drop, right? So, if we come down and we base here and we use it, that is what it could look like, right? That it could do something on low end lines. Or if we come down and base in, then the pullback is there. So, these are kind of the two. Not what I wanted to do. I wanted to move it. There we go. So it depends where the base is, right? Depending on where the base is. If the base is in here, then that's the level that you use, right? Or if we base above it, then we're looking for that as the pullback. So two potential Harry Potter trade sets in this one, just momentum continuation. If we punch out, be cautious with 87.83, shorts at 87.98 and 86.60. Okay. Dollar yen. All right, so dollar yen. You can see yesterday was out, finished at 9:30. Let's take the fib and let's roll this all the way up. You can see, what did we do? We drove straight down. Funny, it ended up using the same Harry Potter level. Did it break it? Yeah, it broke it by a little bit. Yeah, it broke it by a little bit. But again, pullback, explosion, went higher. All right, so where we are right now, we talked yesterday about having profit targets up at 144.61. I think that's still, again, we only need 40 more pips. I think that's kind of where we target right now. Until we get up into here, I don't think we have too much to worry about. 145. I mean, I think we're looking for, obviously, take profit around 144. I think 145 is kind of we're looking for. That's the same as that, that 158 level and the 184 level. So, or what? Yeah, the 159. Yeah, actually, your yen is at 159 right now. So again, it punched through. That's weird. It's 100 pips past where we wanted to break. So yeah, I think right now this one has some catching up to do. And again, we do need the dollar to help us out a little bit on this one. I don't think that'll be that difficult. I think this one will get the assistance. Again, once the dollar strength starts rolling back in, that's all we need is just a little bit of help. That's all, and I think we'll get it. As I said, yeah, it wasn't as great as expected, but the reality is, again, it's still increasing when people are like, oh no, they're done. It's not going to go up anymore, right? Based off of what we saw a year ago, and that's the problem with the yearly data is it's affected by the year prior. Okay. All right, so let's go over and look at oil. So oil, again, are we happy that we're up near 84? No. It was am I happy though that it's not at 84.89? We talked about 85.17. It did make that push up at 3 o'clock this morning, and then the Europeans finally sent the sucker back down again. So it's like, thank God that the Europeans stepped in, right? You know. But right now you can see we are fighting a battle right now at the 23.6 as it pulled back up again. Again, oil, very, very technically traded market. It's a full speculators market. And again, speculators, they like their technical analysis. So yeah, it's kind of bad. It's in a battle right now. It's kind of a little bit harder today. The media thing extends decline as U.S. inflation no longer easing. Now, funny. It says it's no longer easing, but on the other, because it went up, but yet everybody else is like, was it miss? Woo! So you can see the confusion in all the markets right now with what to do with the dollar. So, um, hmm. Yeah, we got to see the outcome of this battle right here. I will say that there's this right here that's just screaming, right? This level of basing that we kind of went up and used. That level of basing right there. Again, it's a general because there's a little wick over wick right here too. But um, This is for illustrative purposes. I'm just trying to. Yeah, look at that. It's right to there. That's good because look, right? All right. Yeah. So okay. Yeah. Look for a break coming through there. 82.63. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I like kind of the racetrack here. I like the fact that the 1 to 3 sneaks in before the base here, and there's almost another one down there. But right now, again, this 23.6 is going to provide plenty of buyers. So when it collapses, right? When it collapses, um, yeah, it's good. It's all right. It's all right. Um, I will say though, people they're probably going to see some more shorting up here. Yeah, 84.50. Thankfully, thankfully. Um, bad. It's 23.6 is really affecting right now. You can see 23.6 is same type of battle, but we saw that parabolic move. We were talking about this coming back down again. You actually had a nice little right here base pullback, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock down. Not a bad little run. Same battle, same 23.6 battle going on right now. Um, I don't think you can do too much with this one right now. Just it is what it is. Yeah, this has inventory today, so we'll see what the inventory comes out. Yeah, natural gas moves down from a 6 month high ahead of fresh storage data. So, yeah, this is going to be a completely weather based. So, not a bad pullback. Again, it's just retracing what it did yesterday. I think if we can get down to the 82.82, I'm sorry, 22.82. Again, I think there's potential for basing and going higher. But right now, it's fighting the 23.6 battle right now. It's choppy. People are definitely getting nervous. Anybody that bought it at 23, if they didn't get stopped out, they're getting super nervous right now. I do actually not mind this little top. I think that's a decent top in there. It was there before in the past. It has punched higher, but kind of put a decent, a candle that I would draw and say, hey, I don't mind that candle, right? So not bad. Gold, funny. Gold drove up, and yesterday, what did we talk about? We want to short gold for this, right? Went up, 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 up. It ended up using a level up here. And again, kind of where the red, green, red kind of comes in right there, right? You can base it off there. It spiked up and then immediately turned and rolled. So we talked about, being short both these yesterday. And again, see what they do. It was driving. It was absolutely driving, driving, driving. Unfortunately, you're not going to use this level here. It was just too big of a burst. The closest one we had as far as the base goes is right there. So this one, again, this one is, you know, continue to, I'd say pay dividends, but there's 1 to 3 right there. So you can see we're well past. Um, Again, gold short, oil short seem to be I'm sorry, not gold. Gold and silver seem to be two great shorts whenever we have, dollar based news for inflation. So again, it happened again, and now we're lower. It's actually about to turn red compared to where we were yesterday. But you can see from where we were at the news time right here, the news came out right here. Big push down, and even from where the open was right here, it's negative. It's red on the day. So there are some buyers down here. I wouldn't be super, super concerned with these buyers, though. Overall, I think dollar strength does roll back in. The realization of that, hey, listen, it actually increased, guys. Inflation increased. It's not what people wanted to hear. So all right, there's that. Silver, kind of the same thing, and magically you can see silver. We are calling for it to be here to take the short, and you can see. Look at the drama here. Look at 23, right? And actually, look, there was a base sitting right there, right? Drop base, nice push down, and bam, that's what it smashed into. Um, so yeah, I mean, buyers have held pretty firm down here. I mean, look on the bottom side too. If you want to take the bottom, there you go, right? Top and bottom, it was kind of bracketed in. Um, Overall, gold was a much cleaner trade. Again, more in touch with what's happening with inflation. Um, I don't think silver's as strong. I think silver is probably going to start pushing through. Question is, what happens if we can break through 2261. 2261 will be a big area for sellers to come in there. Um, yeah, I think this one could go farther. Right, once that dollar starts populating, there could be a potentially be a Harry Potter getting us back down to 22. Although 22, I think, is really cheap for silver. I hate to say it, but I think it's really cheap for silver. Um, yeah, I gotta see. I think there's probably, again, I don't know if this is where we're breaking. I'm just drawing it for illustrative purposes, but right there, I think there's again, push it to the brink. I think we come back down and start the base. I think it drops further, at least down to that being the next level. 235. Let's see what we got with the indices. They should all be decent. I'm shocked Apple's not actually higher than that. Lutessa. Parabolic move. Boom, right back up again. Yesterday's losses, today's gains. Right? Like, oh my god, Tesla's up 3%. All right. Let's see what we got VIX wise. Yeah, VIX should be down. All the data's out, not a big deal. Dollar. Looks like dollar's trying to surge. We got a green and we put a red that didn't go deeper, and now we're kind of surging forward again, holding above that 102 level. Again, kind of whipped everybody out, but we're actually higher than where we started for news. So it's actually on the other side. Obviously, this morning for opening print is going to be really, really strange, and you can see, just looking at the 30-minute candles, it was all over the place, right? You can see here's your 8:30 candle, up, down, pop. It's like, yes, it's good, and then it sells back in time, just in time for the open. Again, two red candles. We were expecting this one to go green. Obviously, no confirmed levels because of the news today. Surged higher, but again, there's your pullback, the two candles before. There's your open. Again, ring the bell. Boom, right back up again, and now we're seeing profit taking come in. So, um, yeah, it's hard opening print wise. Obviously, when you have news as big as CPI, when it's the main focus of the market right now. Historically, it's not as big, but right now, it's big. So, yeah, I would say this is somewhat of a parabolic move. I think once the realization sets in that, again, hey, the Fed could potentially even raise again. I know it's not as hot, but it is increasing in the wrong direction. That's not what the Fed wants to see. So, you know, could this turn and roll back down? I feel like it's there. It wouldn't actually be the worst roll back down. The data's out. I think PPI tomorrow is actually going to be more important, because, again, we're talking about going from point 1 to point 2. I think there's less of a chance that it's a miss versus today where it needed to move point 3 and it only moved point 2. So, again, I think if we maintain high today, I think tomorrow look for a short. Um, Ideally, you want to have a feel good Friday, but I feel like that PPI number could really kind of screw things up tomorrow. Again, maybe it's flat. Maybe it didn't move, and that leads us into a strong green day. But if we end up pretty decently today on green, I feel like tomorrow is setting up for disappointment, especially when it comes in as expected. That, listen, there's two readings in a row, CPI and then PPI, both showing increases. I feel like that puts a lot of pressure on the Fed, to keep doing something. And who knows? Harker speaking later today could absolutely jump on and be like, "Yep, this is what's going to happen." So watch for reversal. Obviously, no opening print. It got charged up. They set it up, made it cheap, and then boom for the explosion. NQ looks exactly the same, and yes, I did click the chart. It did go to NQ. I know it looks exactly the same. It's a little bit wickier. The two candles before the open, again, we pulled back. We charged 930. Boom, accelerated. We're high. This is an area where we have had sellers. Again, this is a lot of basing sitting right up in this level. We've hit it multiple times. Again, reversal back down to where we opened. It's there. Right now NQ is the strongest for the day. So could it turn and flow from here? Sure, it could. I mean, a surge up 1030 is where we reverse, bring it back down to neutral, would come all the way back down into here. Not the worst of trades, right? Not the worst of trades. And it's trying. And again, right now we got another 4 minutes before this one closes. But right now we have, descending candles in that one. Could it be charging for another surge? Maybe, maybe. But the reality is raising interest rates is probably coming. So, yeah, yeah. Wouldn't be surprised if we push back down again. Take your profit down here at 15. Here, I'll just put it on there. 15,323. All right. YM. I did switch. It's a little different. You can see the numbers changed. Two candles of a pop, two candles of a warm up. Boom, punched. And now we're seeing some problems. Um, this is at the 78.6. So again, if I advance this across, it's already been a trade in the past. Also hitting another level. And again, somewhat of a parabolic move. If you're looking to take this one short, take it out there. As far as opening print goes, again, if you were looking to go long, there's no level. It's kind of at a base. But unfortunately, the news kind of chopped this sucker up, in both directions. So that's where we're kind of standing right now. But again, two candles of preparing, one big surge forward. And again, running into a level that we've had sellers before, and it is a 78.6, which again, doesn't matter to me, but some people like it. Looking at turning and rolling. And this one's decently strong as well. Second place, right? And then Russell. Russell obviously moving a little bit faster. Russell, same thing. Two red candles in an area of basing, surge forward, and what are we running into? That level right there. And this one is already reversing back. It is the weakest of all of them. Same thing. Opening print. Would you have taken anything down here? Not really. Again, these two, the news kind of screwed this one up. And look at the news candle. Look at this one right here, right? We opened here. We went all the way up. We went all the way down and closed basically right on the stop. They're like, what do we do with this one? It's just confusing. Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah. But again, it's leading everybody else right now. So no opening print today. Again, having CPI news as being the number one thing an hour beforehand, it's not the ideal opportunity for to get a good trade set up. And again, all you're seeing is surging and reversals right away. So yeah. All right, that's it for today, guys and girls. So again, I'll give you guys 30 seconds. When it gets to 2:30, we'll take it to there. Remember, I am not on tomorrow morning. I'll be in the car already. Playing for Team Attack Cancer, right? Playing for Headstrong tonight. Actually, my games don't sell till 5. I have a 5 and a 7. Driving home. Yeah. I have a 7 to 8. Drive 2.5 hours home. And then sleep here because I have the dog. And then drive 7 o'clock in the morning. I got to leave for, 11 o'clock game tomorrow. Another 3 hours. So, supposed to rain all night. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm gonna try to not get sick this weekend, but I feel like it's happening. Thank you, Debbie. Yeah, I think we're a decent team. We have two ringer teams though in our division. We only play one of them tomorrow. I was not originally going to play. I typically do Thursday, skip Friday, and then play Saturday. But our team only has like 17 people, so missing somebody definitely hurts. And there's short middies in the position I'm playing is facing off. I've been playing all defense this summer, but I'm facing off tomorrow, and I'm the only face-off guy. So it's kind of like, ugh, can't go. But for some reason, if we win all three and we go to the championships on Sunday, I'm definitely not going to be there Sunday because I have something for the boys club team. So yeah, maybe we get us to the championship and then yeah, lose it. Anyway, let's close this down. Winner of today's drawing is Jesus. I can't open it again. Ernest buys 10, and I hit close. I just looked over and I was like, why is all the chat rolling? And then Nerd tried to get in. He failed. Yeah. Yeah, I was talking. I went to go click it, and then I saw that the chat goes. I have a delay too, guys. For your chat, I do have a delay also. So, yeah, wasn't even paying attention. My bad, Neuro. My bad. Ernest got lucky on this one. I don't know. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 10-7. Let's see who takes it. And again, he is on number 2, so I'm kind of surprised he didn't go in higher than that early. So, yeah. I could hit refund and watch Ernest rage, but I won't. All right, winner today's drawing is took it. Yeah, my bad, Neuro. My bad, Neuro. I just clicked it. So, yeah, my bad. My bad. But, I mean, here's the thing. So that was his second, right? Right? That was his second, right? And because we're missing tomorrow, right? Ernest still goes for his 250, but on Monday, everybody else will be going for 50, right? So you'll have more incentive to put more chips in, I guess, right? So, all right, with that, I'm out of here. I actually need to go pack and all that kind of stuff, get the boys ready. Mom will be here at noon. Everybody, good trading day today. Remember, PPI is also important. If today is green, that could lead us into a red tomorrow with PPI. Look for some headlines out there. Harker, again, not necessarily the biggest name out there, but one that, again, with some of the our favorites stepping aside, Harker may become one of the new people that is, again, one of the vocal voices that gets things done. So we shall see. It should be, I should be going for 500. We don't do 500. It caps at 250. Anyway, good trading day today. Good luck tomorrow. Everybody have a great weekend. I will catch you guys back on Monday morning. Be safe. Have fun. I'll see you guys then.